Alrighty, y'all. Hello and welcome. It's almost the weekend. Let's take a look at the show where we take a look at those individuals who are extremely captured by that ginormous American bubble, the intellectually challenged, and of course, internet trolls. Let's have some fun. So we have something from the Ask Brits subreddit and the American OP telling everyone that I agree, I'm interested in moving to the United Kingdom. I have 39% British heritage, and I speak fluently in both American and British English dialects. They did indeed get downvoted. And of course, the first responders were saying, what is this British English dialect that you speak of? In layman's terms, British English is just English. At least I recognize that American is a dialect of English instead of proclaiming it to be one true English. That's an improvement. Yeah, true. Someone has a hilarious chart from Steam set up. English traditional or English simplified. That's actually hilarious, and I never noticed that. I mean, I guess I haven't installed Steam in a while, but that is pretty funny if that's true. Oof, that's a good burn. There it is, 39%. LOL. Does this person walk around with their DNA results? Yeah, that is just an American obsession. I get connecting to like your heritage and stuff. Okay, that could be kind of cool and interesting, but like constantly referencing it, especially with like percentages, there's something extremely tacky about it. Oh my goodness, this might be like the dumbest thing I've seen in a while. A bowl of European Fruit Loops top compared to a bowl of American Fruit Loops bottom. Of course, you can see the stark neon color difference. Ours are, well, freakishly colored like that and have a lot of questionable and not great for you ingredients. But of course, the American says, we rank higher than most countries in food health and safety. He was met with a slew of time to do a little research and educational comments. At this point, any American trying to act like our food is the best in the world is just one of the weirdest and out of touch arguments ever. If you want to argue for this and that with some sort of facts, okay, great. But food is just not one we're even in the arena with, especially compared to Europeans. I have a whole series on this. Trust me. Don't say our food is the best in the world. Just don't. I will never understand the caps on Italian water. This is an American girl in Italy, apparently. She's completely confused. Like, you know what? To be fair, I think we've all been there. Like the first time, I literally in my Fanta video, the first time I experienced a Euro cap, I was a little. Actually, my first time was different because people noticed in the comments I actually somehow ripped it right off. I think so that doesn't count because I didn't have to mess with it. I ripped it off, and I don't know how I did. I think because I was filming, I was like kind of in the zone. I somehow ripped it off and didn't notice anything weird about it. I think it might have been the next episode or maybe one of the other drinks. But anyway, I remember after seeing that pointed out, the next Euro cap I took off. And then, of course, I saw how it has like the 2 connection points. It doesn't let you, like literally take it off. At least you're not supposed to. I get it. It seems like it's in the way, but you quickly learn that you just kind of bend it down and then it's not in the way. So, I buy primarily European groceries. I have for the last few months, ever since those videos started. And I have Euro caps all around my house now, like, or at least drinks with those on them. And it's not a problem. It's not like this. I know it's content, or maybe she really doesn't know what she's doing, like how to drink it. But either way, it's not hard to learn. It's weird at first, but it's not that bad. She just has to bend it down, and you're good. I will be in Rome on the 4th of July and was wondering if anything will be closed as a result of our holiday. Who's going to break it to them that, they're going to shut down Rome for the 4th of July? All the way over in Rome, in Italy, they still shut down the town, and everyone has private parties, so you're not going to go to the store or get a Coliseum tour. None of that. No. Yeah. It's a worldwide holiday. Actually, July 4th is just July 4th in every other country, so I think you'll be all right. My wife and I went on vacation last year and met an American couple our age, early 30s. They asked what we do in Canada for the 4th of July, so as a joke, we pretended not to know what it was and asked them to explain it to us. Nice. The wife just kept calling it the 4th of July, the 4th of July. And the husband finally said, I think it's our Independence Day or something like that. This is hilarious. The 4th of July, like someone had to finally say what it's actually called, Independence Day. But I love how he, as an American, wasn't even sure if that was it. Independence Day or something. Like, they're so enthusiastic about the holiday, but they're not even sure what it's called. That is just so uniquely American. No, Canada, along with the rest of the world, does not celebrate American Independence Day, as shocking as it might be. As a Brit, I'm quite tempted to start celebrating it. Let me know when the rest of the world provides free water at restaurants. Cracks me up when they come up with these things so defensive over tipping culture. Look, people can have their opinions about stuff. I have heard, this isn't my opinion, but I've heard some Americans, when it comes to, waiters and waitresses at restaurants, some of them actually prefer tips here. Because I guess some of them claim they make really good money with it. Now, the problem is that's not the case for everyone. And also the big problem is their actual wage is extremely low. So tip money is not always guaranteed. And of course, why is it the job of the customer to pay an employee of a restaurant? It's just so weird and bizarre. And I'm a realist, so I grew up with tipping culture here, and I don't like it. I see how weird and messed up it actually is. So the fact that, Americans on the internet defend tipping culture is just a little bit bizarre. But okay, they can have their opinion. That's fine. But the fact that they don't think anywhere in the world has free water, like maybe you could say a lot of countries don't have free refills on, soda and juice and stuff. Okay, that's fine. They don't know that, but like you can maybe assume that. But free water at restaurants is pretty damn common, right? I think a lot of Americans think that, some restaurant in Germany or Italy charged me for bottled water. Well, bottled water is charged here in the U.S. as well. Tap water, if you order tap water, it's free. That's what I've heard from almost every European in my comment section. Clearly, they've never heard that or they've never traveled, because I'm definitely sure you can find free water in a lot of places. Free water is literally a law in the UK. Every country I've been to, from India to France, always had free tap water at the table. The American Georgia was founded in 1732, like 200 years before the country was founded. They can't be serious, right? The ignorance is breaking through the roof right now. I'm going to leave that alone. What do I even say to that? I'm going to let you guys roast them down below. The European mind cannot comprehend this and 9 innings of baseball. Got the Miller Lite 24-pack. Got what looks to be, like 18 or 20 hot dogs. Can't say I partake in this exact way. Yeah, I like some beer. Not fond of the hot dogs, especially 18 of them or 20 of them. But hey, you do you. Not to mention, they have quite a lot of sports in European countries as well. I'm pretty sure they have days where they might watch sports like football or something all day. Laughs and test cricket. That's right. Isn't that like days-long matches? Yeah, 9 innings of baseball is nothing. Correct. I don't understand how someone can buy light beer. Just drink water, mate. Who legit thinks traditional Italian pizza is better than New York pizza are lying to themselves, the American says. There's quite a few angles here that are wrong, if I may. First of all, that's his opinion. Okay. I'm going to assume a lot of people aren't going to share this opinion. I'll let you guys weigh in on that. New York pizza is pretty good from what I've heard and from what I've had. Although many traditional Italian pizzas look incredible, and I can only dream of having some fresh Italian pizza in insert, Italy hotspot here. I would love that. And I'm willing to bet that it's probably going to be healthier and honestly more flavorful and less cheesy. But that's just a matter of taste. Another angle is, what is exactly traditional Italian pizza? I'm pretty sure they're going to have many different pizza styles and pizza recipes in Italy, right? They're kind of good at food. And even YouTubers getting in on the kind of U.S. defaultism, U.S. bubble thing that some of our sports fall into when it's just U.S. teams and they say, you know, world championships, stuff like that, right? This YouTube video is how the Pillsbury Doughboy became the world's most famous mascot. You know, mini Cinnies and all their different various, you know, sweet baked products are very American-esque, and I don't picture them being famous and popular in, you know, like 150 other countries, right? They're pretty American, I think. All right, now this one I have to point out is one of those that falls in the gray area, right? So this OP said, you can join communities focused on that type of races. You'll be surprised there are a lot of those groups, and if you're based in SEA, I can hook you up with our crew. So, you know, an American said, did you mean Seattle? I'm about 3 hours south of there, but still in WA, which in his case means Washington because Seattle's in Washington. And they had to respond, Southeast Asia. Now, this one's not a big deal. Acronyms can be confusing, right? Especially when you're posting on big internet forums and stuff where it could be a world audience, and usually is. So I wouldn't say either of them is like super at fault. It was just a misunderstanding. I think OP maybe should have just said Southeast Asia or specified that somehow a little more in depth. Of course, it is funny that they thought that just automatically meant Seattle and then proceeded to use an acronym again, to which the comments were like, oh, Seattle's not in Western Australia, because an Aussie would think WA means Western Australia. But WA is about 3 hours south of SEA. Perth to Bali. So, you get it? Yeah, acronyms aren't the best. Now, there's about 1 million of these I could do. We'll do these very soon again. But this, I'm going to show, I try to keep it fair. So I'm going to show some goofballs and a little bit of ignorance from elsewhere. So we have just a couple here. These are Europeans. This one's pretty weird, right? Is it time for France to lead Europe into unification? Can the French nuclear arsenal reach U.S. cities on the Atlantic if necessary? Whoa, man. I thought France and the U.S. were pretty strong allies. Most people are pretty well aware that there might be tension and disagreements and stuff. That's human nature. That's fine. Jumping straight into nuke talk about nuking cities here in the U.S.? Ooh, I don't like that. Of course, why would I like that? No one likes that. No one wins nuclear wars. Everyone should be putting the nukes away. No nukes. This is clearly an internet troll, and I don't think most level-headed people think like that. Then from Reddit Mexico, we have Mexico should designate the NRA as a terrorist organization. Hola, my friends, European here. They proceed to say that the NRA is a terrorist organization. They're the ones that supply the cartels with weapons, destabilizing Mexico. It would be a good countermeasure now that the U.S. is trying to bully you again. No mames. They throw the no mames in there, which is hilarious. Not sure if they know what that means or how to use it correctly. That's up for debate. And also, I think they're a little confused as well. I wouldn't say the NRA is who they're talking about. I think they'd actually be talking about the DOJ, more specifically the ATF. That might be a better argument. And of course, they got pretty eaten up in the comments. Anyway, that is going to be it for this one. I hope you enjoyed it, got a laugh out of this. I know I did. And I really do appreciate you watching. I hope your weekend is going to be incredible. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. My name is Ian. You're watching IWrocker. Until next time, y'all. Catch you later.